When we think about aging, most people immediately associate it with gray hair, wrinkles, or maybe the occasional senior moment. But what if we told you that one of the most overlooked yet vital aspects of healthy aging lies in something much simpler and far more preventable than memory loss or cosmetic changes? What if we told you that flexibility, or rather the loss of it, is quietly responsible for a staggering number of the mobility challenges seniors face today? This is not just about being able to touch your toes. It's about your ability to maintain independence, safety, and quality of life. Dr. Eleanor Matthews, a top geriatrician and physical mobility expert with over 30 years of experience in senior wellness, calls flexibility the silent pillar of aging well. According to her, many seniors who struggle with basic movement, whether it's climbing stairs, standing up from a chair, or simply walking without fear, are experiencing issues rooted in reduced joint and muscle flexibility. Now, why do we lose flexibility in the first place? The science is pretty straightforward. As we age, the connective tissues surrounding our joints, ligaments and tendons, become less elastic. Collagen, the protein that provides structure and support, diminishes with age, and so do the synovial fluids that lubricate our joints. Without regular movement and stretching, these components stiffen and shrink, much like a rubber band left out in the sun. Studies from the National Institute on Aging suggest that adults over 60 lose about 10% of their flexibility every decade if no interventions are made. That might not sound like a lot, but compounded over 2 or 3 decades, this adds up to a serious restriction in range of motion. And it's not just about inconvenience. Reduced flexibility can lead to poor posture, chronic pain, increased fall risk, and even psychological consequences like loss of confidence and independence. Dr. Matthews recounts one of her patients, 72-year-old Louise, who had been physically strong all her life. But after retirement, she adopted a more sedentary lifestyle. She did everything right. She ate well, walked daily, and even lifted light weights, Matthews said. But she never stretched. Slowly, but surely, she began to develop lower back pain, then knee stiffness, and eventually had trouble lifting her arms over her head. The issue? Her joints and muscles had shortened and stiffened. Despite maintaining her strength, she lacked the suppleness needed to move fluidly. "It's like having a Ferrari with square tires," Matthews quipped. "You have the power, but no agility." The consequences of inflexibility are vast. Falls, for instance, are one of the leading causes of injury in people over 65. According to the CDC, over 3 million older adults are treated in emergency departments each year for fall injuries. Lack of flexibility, particularly in the hips, ankles, and spine, plays a central role in this statistic. If you can't pivot your foot quickly, twist your torso efficiently, or maintain upright posture, your chances of stumbling skyrocket. Yet, here's the good news. Flexibility is highly trainable even later in life. A comprehensive study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity demonstrated that seniors who engaged in a consistent stretching regimen for just 12 weeks saw improvements in balance, coordination, gait, and joint mobility. Some participants even reversed the effects of decades of sedentary living. What's more, stretching also contributes to better blood circulation, stress reduction, and even better sleep. There's a hormonal benefit, explains Dr. Matthews. Stretching stimulates endorphin release and lowers cortisol, which contributes to mental clarity and emotional stability. For seniors facing anxiety or depression, this can be a game changer. So why don't more seniors stretch? There are several misconceptions. One is that stretching is only for athletes or people with injuries. Another is that it's time-consuming or painful. But in truth, stretching can be as simple as reaching your arms overhead in bed or performing gentle neck rolls while seated. It's less about intensity and more about consistency. Let's also acknowledge the mental hurdle. For many seniors, trying something new, especially if they fear it may hurt, is a big ask. That's why education is key. Caregivers, health providers, and community centers must prioritize awareness and offer safe, guided routines. In conclusion, flexibility isn't just a bonus feature of fitness, it's a cornerstone of senior health. Ignoring it can mean living a shorter, less mobile, and more painful life. But embracing it, even gradually, opens the door to a more vibrant, independent, and fulfilling chapter of life. As Dr. Matthews puts it, stretching isn't about touching your toes, it's about reclaiming your freedom. Now that we've uncovered why flexibility is essential to aging well, let's get specific. Many seniors believe a short morning walk or some basic arm movements are enough to maintain mobility. But in truth, there are 5 key areas of the body that often go completely ignored, and the results can be devastating. These parts might not scream for attention like an aching back or swollen knee, but their neglect contributes silently to imbalance, discomfort, and even long-term injury. The good news? Bringing them back into action is entirely possible, and we'll show you how. 1. Neck and shoulders. You might not notice it at first, but the neck and shoulders carry the burden of almost every head movement we make, from turning to check traffic to simply nodding in conversation. Over time, due to poor posture, especially from sitting and looking down at phones or tablets, these muscles become tight and resistant. For seniors, this can lead to tension headaches, decreased range of motion, and upper back stiffness. A simple daily stretch like slow head tilts from side to side or shoulder rolls can relieve tension. Dr. Matthews suggests using a towel stretch behind the back to open the chest and release the shoulders. It's one of the simplest but most powerful ways to correct posture and improve neck mobility, she notes. 2. Wrists and hands. The wrists and fingers are fundamental for independence. Everything from buttoning a shirt to holding a cup of coffee requires joint health in these tiny but mighty areas. Yet, most stretching routines completely skip them. Conditions like arthritis, carpal tunnel, and reduced grip strength can all be improved or prevented through daily hand and wrist mobility exercises. Stretching techniques like finger fans, spreading fingers wide and holding, and wrist circles can be done while watching TV or reading a book. Squeezing a soft therapy ball for a few minutes a day also helps maintain dexterity. 3. Hip flexors. The hip flexors are perhaps the most neglected body part across all age groups, but particularly dangerous for seniors. These muscles help lift your legs and stabilize your lower body when walking or standing. Sitting for long periods, as many retirees do, causes these muscles to shorten, contributing to back pain and limited stride. Gentle lunges, hip bridges, or even seated leg lifts can gradually loosen tight hip flexors. A yoga move known as the pigeon pose can also be modified for seniors using a chair or cushion. 4. Ankles and calves. Our feet are our foundation, and the ankles and calves play a vital role in maintaining balance. If you've ever seen an elderly person shuffle or struggle to lift their feet, tight calves or weak ankles are often the culprit. This not only affects walking, but significantly increases fall risk. To combat this, try simple exercises like standing calf raises, holding onto a chair for support, or ankle rolls. Dr. Matthews recommends using a resistance band to stretch the foot by pulling the toes toward the body. 5. Lower back. A stiff lower back affects everything from sleep to walking. It's also one of the top complaints among older adults. The issue is compounded by tight hamstrings, weak core muscles, and limited hip mobility. Gentle spinal twists, knee chest stretches, and supported forward folds can help release the tension here. Daily stretching of the lower back not only relieves pain, but improves posture, reduces the risk of disc degeneration, and increases energy levels. Each of these 5 areas can be transformed in just minutes a day. In our next section, we'll break down how to put these movements into a routine that works with your lifestyle, not against it. Because you don't have to be an athlete to stretch, you just have to begin. Understanding what to stretch is only the first step. Putting it into a consistent, practical routine is where the real transformation begins. Many seniors feel overwhelmed when told to begin a stretching regimen. They ask, "Where do I start? How long should I stretch? Do I need to go to a class or use fancy equipment?" The good news is, stretching can be integrated into your everyday life without added stress, cost, or time. Dr. Matthews emphasizes a concept she calls micro-routines, small, manageable sessions of movement that add up over time. Think of stretching like brushing your teeth, she says. You don't need to do it all day, just consistently and with purpose. The first step is to anchor stretching to something you already do. Morning? Pair neck rolls and shoulder stretches with your first cup of coffee. Watching television? Use that time to roll your ankles, extend your legs, or do some wrist and finger stretches. Going to bed? A few minutes of deep breathing and spinal twists can help you wind down and improve sleep quality. Creating a routine isn't about rigidity, it's about rhythm. Start with just 5 minutes per day and gradually build up. A sample week might look like this: Monday, focus on shoulders and neck, 5 to 10 minutes. Tuesday, hips and lower back, 10 minutes. Wednesday, wrists and fingers, breathing exercises, 5 minutes. Thursday, calves and ankles, 10 minutes. Friday, full body gentle flow, 15 minutes. Saturday, rest or short-seated stretches, 5 minutes. Sunday, reflective stretching with calming music, 10 minutes. The biggest myth to overcome is that flexibility requires pain. No pain, no gain does not apply here. In fact, if stretching hurts, you're doing it wrong. The goal is mild tension, not discomfort. Slow, steady breaths should accompany every movement. Breathing oxygenates your muscles and signals your nervous system to relax. You might be surprised to learn that stretching has a neurological benefit too. Regular stretching strengthens the mind-body connection, enhancing balance, spatial awareness, and even memory. This has been confirmed in studies showing improvements in cognitive performance following simple stretching routines, particularly in older adults. One of the most powerful ways to stay consistent is by stretching with others. Whether it's a spouse, a friend over the phone, or a virtual group on YouTube or Zoom, accountability adds both joy and structure. Community classes, like chair yoga or senior tai chi, can offer low-impact group movement with professional guidance. Tools can help, but they're not required. A towel, a wall, a chair, these everyday objects become excellent supports for safe stretching. Apps like Stretch It, Gentle Stretch, or even guided YouTube videos designed for seniors can walk you through routines with encouragement and visual clarity. Dr. Matthews also recommends keeping a stretching journal. Write down how you feel before and after your sessions. Document improvements in posture, walking, or even sleep. The most important thing is to celebrate progress, not perfection, she says. There's a psychological layer to all of this too. When seniors start feeling better in their bodies, confidence returns. They walk taller, engage more, and reclaim independence. This has a cascading effect on mood, relationships, hobbies, and even how they see the future. Stretching, then, becomes more than a physical act. It's an emotional, social, and spiritual reconnection with oneself. That's why we at the 60+ chapter aren't just passionate about the mechanics of stretching. We're devoted to its meaning. It means giving yourself permission to care, to adapt, to thrive. As we draw this journey to a close, it's time to envision what life could look like when flexibility becomes a priority, not just in body, but in mindset, routine, and aspirations. Aging does not have to mean decline. It can mean evolution. It can mean discovering strength in slowness, purpose in practice, and connection in care. A flexible future is not about touching your toes at 80. It's about picking up your grandchild without wincing. It's about taking the stairs because you can, not because you have to. It's about reaching high on a grocery store shelf or bending low to tend to your garden without thinking twice. These are not luxuries. They are freedoms, and they are worth preserving. Flexibility allows for spontaneity, for travel, for saying yes to that walk with a friend, that community dance night, that yoga class you never thought you'd enjoy. It means less fear when moving, and more confidence in every step. But perhaps more importantly, flexibility gives you control. Control over your movements, your choices, and your independence. And when you're over 60, control becomes priceless. The future is also about how we approach aging in society. We must shift the narrative from inevitable frailty to intentional adaptability. Stretching is not about defying age, it's about befriending it, about saying, I will meet you there, but I will meet you strong. Imagine a community of seniors who support each other in their daily wellness, who share tips, successes, setbacks, and stories, who stretch together in living rooms, church halls, and parks, who laugh through the creaks and cheer at every inch gained. This is not a fantasy. This is possible. It's happening, and you can be part of it. If there's one thing we've learned through working with countless seniors, it's this: the body responds to love. Movement is one of the most profound ways we show our body that we still care, that we're still here, and we still want to thrive. So start today. Start now. Stretch your arms wide open. Reach for the sky. And know that every time you do, you're stretching beyond muscle. You're stretching toward joy, strength, and freedom. At the 60+ chapter, we believe in creating a life you love, mainly after 60+ age, where not much people and supports are with you. Every story we share is meant to bring hope, knowledge, and tools that help you live better, not just longer. We are here for you, and we'll keep bringing you real stories, practical tips, and trusted advice every day. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to listen, or if it simply gave you hope, please take a moment right now to click subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. It helps us reach more people like you, and it keeps the 60+ chapter channel going strong. Let's grow this beautiful community together.